Okay, this is your video briefing of the digital marketing module for 2014. Welcome. I am Dylan Cromert, one of the lecturers that will be working with you on this module. And let's have a look at what it's going to be about and what is expected and everything connected to it. I'm just going to read. And then as I read, I will mention things as well, additional to what is in the document. So please feel free to read with me, or just sit back and listen. It's up to you. If you would like to get this document, you can get it on Blackboard in the folder. I believe, it's in one folder called Digital Marketing. And then there's another folder inside, I believe, called Briefing. So here we go. Marketing is a very broad discipline that incorporates many different tools in order to build profitable, long-lasting customer relationships. Now, as you know, this is really what marketing is about. It's about building long-lasting customer relationships. In the 21st century, the rise of the information age has greatly influenced the way customers and companies interact and communicate with one another. This has mostly been made possible with the growth of digital technologies and the internet. For this reason, it is crucial that marketers, that means you, have a good grasp of the various digital tools so that they can create and manage effective strategies that engage with customers in their information-rich world. Now, today, as we know, digital technologies is growing quite immensely, and so more and more companies are needing to take hold of what digital technologies and the internet can provide. Because why? Because most of their customers are using digital technologies and the internet. And so marketing is really all about engaging with customers, as we know, and so where they are, we need to be. And so that's why it's so important to have a good grasp of digital technologies, because our customers have a good grasp of digital technologies, and in fact, we need to have a better grasp of digital technologies. We need to really know digital technologies well. In order to engage with our customers effectively, and even preempt, in order to be able to preempt what they're going to do and how they're going to engage, so that we can do so. Okay, let's look at the course program. In order to understand the various tools and methods available to today's marketers, you will be taken on a personal journey into marketing yourself. Yes, that means you. That's right, before you are able to market a business, you first need to know how to market yourself. And what better way to do so than using the digital channels that are freely available to all marketers. So this is very important. The first point of contact when it comes to marketing is you. If you are unable to market yourself, you will be unable to truly market the product or service of another company. And as both your other lecturers and I will mention to you, as both all your lecturers will mention to you, your first thing that you need to master is how to promote and market yourself to those around you, and especially to future employers. Right? There have been many times that I have, and other lecturers have also, coming from the working world, have sat in interviewing students, and find that they don't know what their strengths are. They don't know how they can add value to a business. They don't know truly how to promote themselves. They think that by holding up their diploma from CPUT, that will be enough to sell them. Well, I've got news for you guys, that is definitely not enough. Having a diploma, having a theoretical underpinning really means basically like 5% to a company. The rest, what they want to see and what they want to know, is how you can add value to their business. That is why companies employ people. And that is why people buy products. They buy them because of the value that they can add to their lives. And so fundamentally, you need to know what strengths you have, and you need to know how those strengths can add value to a business, and then you need to know how to communicate those strengths and that value adding to the world around you. You need to be able to show them. You need to be able to prove that you can add that value. Okay, so this journey that we're going to be taking in digital marketing is also a journey that we're going to be taking in how to market yourself. Okay, so it's a combined journey. Okay, problem-based learning. This module will work a little differently than what you have experienced before. You will be given a problem that you need to solve. You will then need to make use of any and all resources you can in your attempt to solve the problem. You will be assisted by your lecturers who will support you by making resources available to you, giving you practical instruction, and guiding you as you go along. The idea is that we will all work together in achieving a common goal. So, what does that mean? That means that you're not going to be getting many formal lectures where we give you a lot of information about digital marketing. You will, however, get a textbook, and the textbook is on Blackboard. It's called Quirk E-Marketing, and it's in the digital marketing folder. And there's a lot of theory in that textbook that covers many areas of digital marketing. And you are welcome to have a look at that and to read through it and to understand what information is in there. There's also something called the internet and Google. And there's also a lot of information that you can access through Google regarding digital marketing and so forth. And then we also have a wealth of information and knowledge and experience that we can also share with you and help when we guide you and consult you. So the idea of this module is not that we give you lots of information, but rather that you work towards a goal and then gain and access the information that you feel that you need in order to complete it effectively. Okay? So you will need to equip yourself with the resources that have been made available to you in order to effectively solve this problem. Okay, so let's look at what this problem is. Most students struggle to effectively market themselves to the corporate world once they complete their studies. For this reason, it is crucial that you learn practical ways to promote your strengths and prove your benefit to the working world out there. I have mentioned this before, but I will mention it again. This is the main thing that we find students struggle with once they leave university, and even and especially marketing students, right? Just because you're a marketing student doesn't mean that you know how to effectively promote yourself. You might have a bit more of a theoretical underpinning in order to equip you to do that, but you still need to practice. You still need to learn how to do that. And so, this is still a big issue. I know many, I studied in fact at CPUT, I did a BTEC there, and many of the students that I studied with still are here, don't have work or don't have sufficient or work that they would really like to do. Why? Well, they don't know how to promote themselves. They don't know how to get out there. They don't know how to show off their skills and how they can add value. So, I think you understand what the problem is. So let's see how we can solve that problem. Okay, so what is the goal? The goal is to use digital technologies to effectively brand yourself. Okay, that is the goal of this module. To use digital technologies to effectively brand yourself. Now, all of you have done 6 months, an entire semester worth of branding. Right? So you know exactly what it is to brand something and how to even go about doing it. You understand the strategic elements of branding. Now, the question is, can you apply those things that you have learned to yourself? Right? Take all the knowledge that you've gained over the last semester and apply it to brand you. Right? To create a strategy and to effectively implement that strategy. Okay, so what are the objectives that are connected to that goal? Well, number 1, develop an online CV that can be viewed from anywhere in the world in the form of a blog. Number 2, use social media channels to connect with a greater audience by linking to your blog. getting people to come to check out your blog and your CV. Incorporate any other digital tools to increase the influence of your personal brand. So, create a brand online, get people to come and view that and check out and get to know and form a relationship with that brand, and then use anything and everything to increase the reach and the influence of your brand. Quite simple. And there's a note. Ultimately, the purpose of any branding strategy is to increase the reach and influence of the brand amongst the chosen target market. So, do whatever it takes to do just that. Okay, the program outline. The formal aspects of this module will take place over a 5-week period. We are already in week 2. But let's look here. There's a topic, the details of the topic, chapters that are connected to that topic in your textbook, and then the dates that we will be covering it. So last week you looked at the introduction. At least in week 1, you looked at the introduction, and that is connected to chapter 1, 2, and 20. Blog setup. We're looking at that in week 2. That's this week. You will be assisted to set up your personal blog in a computer lab. Now, we have not been able to access computer labs in a very effective way. There aren't many available, and even if they were available, we can't fit everyone in the same lab. And so therefore, to overcome this problem, I've made videos of how to set up a blog. They are available on Blackboard. There are 5 of them. Follow them and set up your blog following the instructions that are in them. They are quite visual. They show everything that you need to do. All you do is you watch, you pause, you do the same, and then you continue watching and pause and do the same. It's quite simple to follow, really, and maybe even easier than it would be in a lab, because you can rewind and go back and check it out if you missed something. Also, the internet is full of information regarding setting up blogs using WordPress. That is the platform that we will be setting up the blogs with, and you are welcome to do a Google search on anything that you have a problem with. Really, there is lots and lots of information. There's lots of videos that you can watch if you are struggling with something, or if you want to make something better. I've really just done basic tutorials, and if you want to check that out online to make it even better, you're welcome to do that. Article writing in week 3. So a blog is really a big diary in a sense. It's got a lot of articles in it, and it's really about writing. It's about putting up content. The key with a blog is to put up a lot of content, things that people can read, that people can watch, that people can interact with, that they can engage with, that they can comment on, that can give them better information, that can help them. You write adding value for your reader, okay, for your subscriber. So in week 3, you will need to begin working on articles. Okay, and chapter 4 in your textbook looks at writing in a basic way, writing for the internet, but I recommend that you do a lot more research online to get some more information, an understanding of how to write for blogs. Right? You can just do research like that. You can search for writing for blogs, blog writing, blog PR, personal PR, PR articles, things like that. Right? Writing is usually connected to public relations, and blogs are connected to public relations usually. And so I would suggest you look for information on that online. Okay, so that's that. And then customer week 4. Customer relationship management and social media connecting. You will begin to connect with your blog on social media channels in order to promote it to a wider audience. So once you've set up your blog and you've got some great content up, then you need to get people to come and check it out, right? So we're going to look at that. There's quite a few chapters in the textbook that cover that, chapter 8, 14, 15, and 16, which you can have a look through during week 4. And obviously you can check out online. There are many other ways that can assist you to help promote your blog. Okay, and then lastly, blog optimization and management. You'll learn how to increase the reach, right, of your blog, and increase the professionalism of your blog, right? You need to make sure that you comment in time. For example, if someone comments on your blog, you need to reply. Do you reply a month afterwards, or do you reply a few days afterwards, or even a few hours afterwards, right? That's how to manage your blog effectively. Okay, you can't just put it up there. It's not like a website that you just put up there and leave it. It's something that you engage in all the time, right? You keep tabs on it. You manage it, just like you would manage a marketing program. Okay, it's not a marketing program. Is not something you just put up there like an advert and then you leave it. No, you need to engage with what customers are saying. You need to do research. You need to rethink what you're going to be putting on. You need to make it better as you go ahead. Okay, and that's chapter. It covers that in chapter 9, 10, 18, and 19. Okay, each topic that will be covered has corresponding chapters, as I've said, in your prescribed digital marketing textbook, and then you can check that out to get a deeper understanding. And it's a free of charge textbook, but there's a digital version on Blackboard. Okay, then, personal branding project, which has a 10% weighting for the year. Now, even though that doesn't seem like very much, you can choose to do this for the marks only, or you can choose to do this for the value that it will add to your life. It really is up to you. If grades are all you care about, that's fine. You don't have to put much effort in. But if getting a job one day is something you care about, then I would suggest you put in as much effort as possible, because I can guarantee you that something like this will blow any employer out of the water. If they had to look at 50 different candidates and they saw that you had a blog that you were writing about different marketing related topics, and they could see the insights that you have, the way your mind works, they can look at your CV, they can see that you understand digital technologies, you will definitely be shortlisted. So I leave that with you to just make your decision. Okay, I'll continue reading. Blogs are a powerful digital marketing tool. Many companies are using them to voice their opinions and generate conversations with their publics. And I'll chat about what publics are a bit later, or at least who are your publics. Blogs are free, easy to use, and very accessible. This project will help you learn how to converse with your publics using a blog. So, you are to set up your own personal blog on WordPress.com. This will be the tool you will use to develop your personal brand, showcase your digital CV, and relate to your publics. You will have to choose a name, choose a theme, upload content, and write. You will have to post at least once a week this term, so that's a minimum of 4 posts. All we want is 4 well-written, edited, good-looking blog posts, okay? At least. You can make many more, obviously. It is up to you, but all that we want is a minimum of 4. Okay? You should choose a specific day that your blog posts go out. You don't want to kind of bombard people with many blog posts at the same time. You do them periodically so that they can, digest what you've written. But we will go into a bit more of that as we go ahead. Okay, and you can actually set when you want your blog post to go out. But I will do another video on that in the future, so that you can, so you know how to do that. You must brand your blog uniquely you, and get your publics to subscribe to your blog. So the blog needs to kind of, it needs to be you, right? It needs to be brand you, okay? So think about how you would like to position yourself using this blog. Okay, do you want to position yourself as quirky? Do you want to position yourself as more techie? Do you want to position yourself as more fashionable? How do you want to position yourself? as a professional marketer, because this is essentially your professional blog. If you have a personal blog, for example, that you use just to kind of as a diary, that you just kind of write up random stuff, that's fine. But this blog is designed to be your professional blog. It's where you would have potential employers coming to look. It's where you are able to express your professional side, right? It's where you are able to grow as a professional marketing writer. It's where you will learn how to use the WordPress platform, because most companies today, when they are setting up blogs, they're using WordPress. Also, WordPress is not just a blogging platform, it's also a platform that many companies are using to set up their websites. So if you are able to learn how to manage the WordPress system, this will be another skill that you have that can add value to a business, right? You can tell them, I know how to work WordPress. I can even set up a blog for us. I can even manage the website. Okay? And so this is a skill that you can put on your CV. I know WordPress. Okay. So if you have a blog that's, for example, on another blogging platform like Tumblr or Blogger or something like that, that's fine. But I would suggest that you spend some time learning WordPress and setting up a more professional blog. If you already have a professional blog, okay, that is about your that you've already branded yourself, it's already getting you out there, you're already getting lots of hits, then you can email me. And you'll see my email address at the bottom, and I'll have a look at it and then decide if it can work or not, and then give you a bit of advice about how you can take it forward to kind of set it up for this project. But those will be special cases. Okay, so who are your publics? Well, publics is everyone that connects with you, everyone that's in your life, basically, or that could be in your life. Okay, so it's your family, your friends, if you're working, your colleagues, currently your classmates, your lecturers, potential employers, and a very important one is other bloggers. You will be amazed when in the blogging world, if you go and to another blog that's got a similar content to yours and you read their posts and you comment, what they will do, because this is part of blogging etiquette generally, they will come to your blog, read your blog posts, and then they will comment on your blog. And so you will get a lot of interaction from other bloggers. The blogging world is almost like a little community of its own. And it's got its own rules, it's got its own etiquette, and you will find that it's quite a lovely community to get involved in. So spend time reading other blog posts from other bloggers and commenting. And they will come to your blog and comment. Okay, but I'll give a bit more information on that in another video as we go ahead. Okay, but writing ideas. You should pick something that you are interested in and then also link it to marketing, branding, and business. So, what we would like to see with your blogs is that they have a kind of a combined strand. On the one side, they cover your interests, okay, whether it be fashion or sport or whatever, okay, but that they also showcase your marketing abilities, right? So strategy, branding, digital insights, whatever. And so, for example, if you're writing about fashion, talk about fashion marketing, how fashion labels market themselves, and what your suggestions are. If you like travel, talk about all the different places you've traveled to, and give ideas about how those places, those cities, can market themselves in a better way. Show off your strategic insights. If you like reading, you can do reviews on books, marketing-related books, or even other books, and you can talk about how they can promote themselves better. If you like movies, right, you can talk about movie marketing and movie marketing campaigns and those kinds of things, right? If you like music, the same, right? So the idea is to kind of pick a theme that you want to touch on or that you want to kind of write under. It might be the arts, right? Music and the arts. You want to kind of stick to that theme. Or if it's sports and or sports and events, you can kind of, stick to that kind of theme. or if it's fashion and entertainment. So you need to kind of pick a category. You don't want to be too broad. Maybe you want to get into politics and justice, politics and the law, and government, right? So those kinds of elements. Blog about different parties and what their campaigns are like and how they market themselves, social justice, and all those kinds of things. So you gotta kind of have to pick an area that you can kind of focus in on. You don't want to be too broad, but you also don't want to be too narrow. Okay, so pick a general category, and then a category that has many potential areas that you can blog under, and then which are connected to your interests. And then if you have interests that are connected to or if you want to write about other interests that are not kind of connected to your theme of your blog, then I would suggest that you find someone else in the class that has themed their blog in that kind of a way, and then you write a blog post for them. You say, hey, can I write a blog post for you? And then you do, and then you place a link to that blog post on your blog. Okay? And that will show your readers that you also are able to add value and that you also have insights connected to all these other things. But the same with target marketing and positioning, you kind of need to focus. You can't be all things to all men. You need to target a specific niche. You need to have a specific theme also that you've learned in advertising. When it comes to campaign planning, you choose a specific theme. Also with branding, a brand can't be everything. It needs to kind of be positioned in a specific way. So you need to really think carefully about how you are going to position yourself. Okay? To the world out there. You don't want to position yourself too narrowly, but also not too broadly. Okay? So you kind of have to find a happy medium, a happy balance, and one of the ways to do that is what I've just explained. You set up your theme in a specific way, but then you write blog posts for other blogs, and you link to them from your blog. That will show potential employers. You can even repost that post on your blog and say, I wrote this for this other blog. But I can go into more detail about that in another video. I'm just trying to give you an idea of how to set up your blog and how to theme your blog and how to position your blog and how to really position your brand, right? How to position yourself. Okay? In a combination of what you're interested in, what you find interesting, what you think about a lot, what you engage in a lot, and then also applying your marketing abilities. So, something quite important, just to add to that, is that the idea is that when an employer comes to read and look at your blog, they can see that you don't only write random things about your interests, but you also think strategically. They can see that when you apply your marketing brain to the world around you. That's what they want to see. Because if you are able to do that in your own world, that means that they can see that you will be able to do that in their world. So if you're able to apply your strategic thinking, your marketing abilities to your own interests, you'll be able to do it for their products and their services. Okay? They want to be able to see that you can transfer your marketing skills to other things, other than just what you've learned at school. Okay, that's very important. You need to own your marketing abilities. You need to own your marketing skills. Okay, and one of the ways to do that is by applying them to your own interests. Okay? So, that's very important, that you showcase your marketing and your strategic abilities through your blog. That is what employers want to see. Alright. Let's have a look here. You will, paragraph 2 of writing ideas, you will also need to comment on other people's blogs. This will also be considered in the evaluation of your blogging, including how you respond to people commenting on your own blog and how you comment on other people's blogs. So this is very important. We are going to need to help one another here. It's terrible if you write a lot of great content but no one comes to comment. Right? As a blogger, that's not very nice. So we would like to see you commenting, reading other people's blog posts in the class and then commenting on them. Right? And then if they comment on your blog, you go and comment on their blog. That's just lovely blogging etiquette. Right? Helping one another, increasing the conversation. Okay, so that will be included in your evaluation. Is we want to see you commenting on others and also replying to comments on your own blog. That will be very important. Okay? If someone does comment on your blog and they say something, you shouldn't just leave it. You should go and say something about it. Wow, thank you so much, or yes, I agree with you, or whatever. Okay? And I suggest you go and do research. You go check out blogs from other people, and you see how they engage on their blog. Okay? In terms of comments. Okay, research suggestions. In order to develop a good blog, you need to do some research about what else is out there. That's very important. This will help you see what other people have done, give you ideas, and help you choose an effective positioning strategy for your personal brand that will set you apart from the rest. Some keywords that you can consider researching. Branding, student branding, personal branding, things like that. There are some lovely blogs and websites that actually teach students how to brand themselves effectively. I think there's one called the Student Branding Blog or the Personal Branding Blog or something like that. Blogging, WordPress Blogging 101, WordPress for beginners, WordPress for dummies. Right, there's lots of information on how to set up a WordPress site. Online curriculum vitae, digital CV, right? How to set up your digital CV effectively. Digital marketing, basics, personal public relations. That will be very important to you because this is essentially what you'll be engaging in is personal public relations. And then writing. There's lots of information on writing for blogs and online marketing articles. Just one thing I can say about online writing is that the style of writing online is a little bit different to academic writing. Okay? Academic writing, which is what you're used to, is very formal and professional. Okay? Whereas online writing is still professional, but it's informal. Okay? So it uses a more informal tone. There's creative elements that can be added to it. It brings across the writer's personality, whereas academic writing doesn't bring across the writer's personality. It just is. It's just very factual. Okay? So do a bit of reading of blogs, online marketing blogs. You can go to Quirk e-marketing's blog. They've got some lovely posts that you can read, and you can see how they go about what their writing style is. Okay, then administration. You have 4 weeks in which to complete your personally branded blog and digital CV. Some classes will take place in labs, depending on if we can get hold of them and if they are needed. And this will be communicated to you by your lecturers if that is the case. Okay, and then your 2 lecturers for this module in this year is Zandile and myself, Dylan Cromert. And you're welcome to contact us anytime. Okay, the due date for this project is the 22nd of August at 12 p.m. And what is due? If you ask that question, what is due? I would say to you, what is due is just your blog. There's nothing that you need to hand in. On that day, we will go. You need to make sure that your blog is ready with everything that is needed, and we will go onto your blog, look at it, and evaluate it based on what's up there. Okay? So make sure that it is ready by that date. Okay, let's have a look at the rubric. Okay, what is expected of you? Okay, in terms of design, you need to set up a blog, and it needs to be well designed. It needs to have a good appearance. Okay, it needs to have the correct colors. They need to work together. Okay, it needs to be visually appealing. No one wants to go to a blog that doesn't look very good. Okay, because we engage with blogs with our eyes, it needs to be visually appealing. Okay, then if we look at design assets, you need to use color well. You need to use images well. For example, make sure that the images are correctly sized. Okay, there shouldn't be images that are so thin where you see the person's head so thin and the person's, and then eventually another one where the head is so fat. Right? It needs to be in the correct shape, in the correct size. Okay. You also need to use the correct font, or you need to use the same font throughout the website. Okay, don't use random different types of font at different sizes. Okay, it needs to look good and professional. Alright, then, the website content. You need to have an about page which explains what your blog is about in a professional tone. Okay, and encourages the person to become a subscriber. That's very important. Okay, then you need to have a CV page, which consists of an online CV, which people can read online, as well as a version that they can download. Okay, you can look at that, how to do that on the video. And lastly, a contact page where people can easily contact you. Okay, and those are the basic pages that we need. You are welcome to add others as you feel is necessary. Then blogging, Then blogging content. Then blogging content, you need to set up posts and articles, obviously, that are well written with good spelling and grammar. Now, very important for you to consider is that these articles that you're going to be writing are not primarily for us. Okay, they're not going to sit in a lecture on a lecturer's desk somewhere, right? They are going to be out there in the real world for everyone to read. Okay, and mostly they're going to be read by other bloggers, potential employers, and so forth. So you need to make sure that what you're putting out there represents you in a good way, right? So I can guarantee you that if a potential employer goes to your blog and they see that you don't spell correctly or that you have bad grammar, they won't employ you. Simple as that. They won't contact you. They won't download your CV. So if you struggle with grammar and spelling in English, I would suggest that after writing your article in Microsoft Word, you give it to some people to look at and read and make sure that it's well edited. And then only after it's correctly edited do you then put it online. Why? Because it is showcasing you. And if it's badly written, it won't position you in a favorable way. So it's quite as simple as that. Then, blog posts and article information. So you need to make sure that the information is relevant to marketing, right? That it's strategic in nature, okay? It includes accurate information. And if you get information from another website or another blog, you don't need to reference it in the same way that you do Harvard referencing, but you need to give a link to that page. That's how you do referencing in blogs, right? You just give a link. It's just good etiquette, and it shows that you got your information from somewhere else, and it also creates links to other parts of the web, which is good for people if they're doing research, and it also brings traffic back to your website. Okay, that's very important. Okay, then tagging and categories. I will in the videos, I show you what tagging and categories are. You need to make sure that you categorize your posts as well as give tags. Then your writing style, it needs to be professional yet informal, as I've explained. Okay, and you can have a look at other blogs, as I've said. Diversity of blog posts. Please don't write about the same thing over and over and over. Write about different topics that are connected to your theme. Okay? So do a review of a book once, and then do a strategic plan, and then do a review of a campaign, and then give your insights about, whatever. So kind of mix it up a bit. Do a video blog if you like. Do a collaborative blog with another student in the class where you both write a blog post together. Do different things. Make it interesting for your readers. And then creativity used within blog posts. Include photos, include videos, include polls. Right? I explained what polls is in one of the videos. Use color. Right? Don't make it boring, please. And then lastly, social. You need to interact on your own blog effectively, replying to comments in good time. You also need to comment on other blogs. As you can see, there's 10 marks each for that, so that's quite important. So make sure that you are engaging. And then linking to other parts of the web. Okay, you can have a blog roll, which is just links to other blogs that you enjoy, and as I said, within your posts, linking to other blogs and having little links to their websites and things like that. Very important. And then lastly, yes, social media. You have to have social media pages like Facebook and Twitter, which is all connected to your blog, which will increase the traffic and the reach for your blog. Okay, so that's a total of 150 marks, which will then be reverted to 100%. Okay. And that is basically that. If you have any questions, if you have any questions, please email them to me, cromhoutd@cput.ac.za, and I will gladly answer them. And if I get many comments or questions, I will put the answers in a video and make them available to the entire class. Okay, so remember your questions and email them to me, and I will then answer them. Okay. So I guess all I can say is good luck. I trust that this project will add value to your life, and will give you the skills that you need to succeed in the marketing world of today, and that you will really have fun. That will be an exciting journey for you, that you will learn a lot, and that you will ultimately become a better marketer.